L'chaim everyone. Shkoyach to everyone for coming. Shkoyach Rav Shlomo. Thank you so much. You should be blessed with so much atzlacha. All of us benefit from it. And Michael and Chayil for many more years to come, Be'ezer Hashem.
Amen.
Good health, Be'ezer Hashem. I want to share two short stories. Nothing too wild, nothing too much. Because I had a day which is probably like every day of your life, but today it was just a bit more here. I thought about the Rebbe all day today, and I had such a different day. My day was completely different. And when you came last year, Shabbos, I think you came with Shabbos Gimel Tammuz. You came last year, and you gave a great shir Shabbos afternoon on hiskashrus. So I wanted to just speak about what that means a little bit, what hiskashrus is, at least for me, just a personal experience, because it was just such an incredible day, just like the most optimistic and powerful day. And yesterday was Gehenna. Like yesterday was Gehenna for very legitimate reasons. And today was such a powerful day. So I heard the following story from, it's a little bit similar stories, and I'm sure you all know this, but it's just such a good thing to remind ourselves, and basically what we can do. What's the hayra l'kach now, like you were mentioning. The story, I heard this from Rav Ginsburg Shlita. Rav Ginsburg said it with a story once, that there was a yid, not connected to anything, that after many years of trying to have a child, they finally had a child. And Nevach, like it was a Friday morning, he had a child in the hospital somewhere in the States, I believe. And they were so happy that they finally had a baby girl, but an hour after the baby was born, the doctors came and said, there's 90% chance that this kid's going to be blind. Only a 10% chance that the kid can see anything. So, like exactly that experience of being so high and falling so low. He didn't know what to do. He was pacing back and forth, and of course he had a shliach there walking through the base refuah, through the hospital, right before Friday morning with tefillin, and he's going and he sees this tzibruch person, and of course he's dressed. He says Shalom Aleichem, what's going on? He tells them what just happened. The guy said, okay, listen, let's put on tefillin right now. He says, get as far away as you can from me. Just go away, very, very far. I've never done this. This is not the time. Look at the family. Look at the crisis that I have right now. So the truth is that I don't know if he got him to put on to put on tefillin, but he probably did. He's a stubborn Russian shliach. Of course he did. So, but he said to the guy, he said, listen, I'm telling you right now, what we have to do is we have to call the Rebbe. This is in the 80s, maybe 70s, not sure. He says you have to call the Rebbe. So he said, call the Rebbe. So I have no shaykhs to the Rebbe. I have nothing to do with Yiddishkeit. It's like, I'm telling you, you got to call the Rebbe right now. So whatever it was, the guy said, I have to go home I'm going to go home right now. Whatever, just leave me alone. I'll try. He gave him the number of 770. I'll try, I'll call. And they called and he called and he called. That's what he said, and he didn't get through. Maybe not that the hour would matter, as if like 3 a.m. was different than 3 p.m. and 7:70. I don't know what the story was, but he didn't get through. Comes back to the hospital. That chassid is still there, and he said, listen, I know you tried, but it's not over yet. He's like, well, what now? What could change the situation right now? What do you want from me? He said, listen, I'm from Russia. You think we were able to contact the Rebbe? There were years we couldn't contact the Rebbe. He says, well, what did we do? Is that we had hiskashrus b'machshava. We thought about the Rebbe. And it was quite often when we needed to call, and we couldn't. And what we did was, we just thought really strongly about the Rebbe, get a hadras panim, and a tziyur dmus, right? Just have an illustration of the Rebbe. And they probably didn't even have any igros. There was nothing to send a letter, just hiskashrus b'machshava. He just thought about it in their mind. And he said, do you know how many times in Russia, that's what pulled us out from the gutter of whatever gutter we were in? So I'm telling you right now, let's have hiskashrus b'machshava together right now. and hopefully get the brachas that we need. The guy's looking and he says, I thought you were a kook before, now I know you're mamish out of your mind. He says, fine, humor me. He said, fine, humor you, etc. And he said for a second, he thought about it, and this chassid's like swaying back and forth. He's like, fine. Shabbos goes in with the notion that this girl, this baby that's just born, is going to be blind by Shabbos, like, whatever test they come through. Sunday morning, the chassid comes back to put on tefillin again in the hospital, and the guy says, he comes to see this family that's by the bed, and he sees everyone's mamish b'simcha. So the father that he was talking to before Shabbos says, listen to this crazy thing. We came back on over Shabbos, they realized they read the charts wrong, and actually she has 90% chance to see, and only a small percent that she's going to be blind. So the chassid said, do you see the power of hiskashrus? He's like, get out of here, what are you talking about? End of part A of the story, okay? Stay there. 2 years later, this yid was a businessman, he's at a convention somewhere. I don't know what field he was in, he was at a convention. And at the convention, there were a bunch of yid in there, and they must have had a minyan on Shabbos at this convention. He didn't participate in it. But he had a friend, one of his friends from the convention, whatever field he was in, was a firm doctor. And the convention lasted till Tuesday. So after Shabbos, Sunday, they actually had off for most of the day. They were somewhere outside of New York. It's a short plane ride. And the guy said, listen, it's Sunday today. Let's, come with me. There's a rabbi in Brooklyn for dollars. He's thinking, like, these guys just they pop up everywhere, right? they're even undercover. He didn't look like the guy in the shliach in the hospital. He says, whatever. The guy convinced him. He's like, listen, just come with me. I'll take my kid. They had 2-year-olds the same age. I'll take my kid. You'll take your kid. And let's just go. So somehow he convinced him, I'm going to go with him. They're waiting online, but this aksham, right? This aksham, this stubborn guy said, don't tell the Rebbe anything about my name. Whatever, I'll come with you. I'll get $1. Fine, I'll bring my son. Get a bracha, we'll get a blessing. They're waiting online. His friend goes before him. Bracha v'atzlacha, gets $1. The kid gets $1. This guy goes past him. He says, the Rebbe says, bracha v'atzlacha. And then his kid, the Rebbe, right before they leave, the Rebbe bends down to the kid in front of his eyes, and he goes like this. And he sees that the kid's eyes are moving from side to side. And then he said, bracha v'atzlacha. The father is tripping out. He became a Chabadsker after that. That was it. There was no need to say anything after that. Story number 1. And you'll see the kesher between the two. Story number 2 is that one day at the Ohel, a little while ago, not after Gimel Tammuz, this Russian Yidla who looked like he didn't really know what was going on, he shows up at the Ohel, he could barely speak English, and he asked one of the Bachrim, one of the Tmimim there, he said, is anyone here speak Russian? He said, sure. He said, I need to put on tefillin. The guy, they didn't look like he needed to put on tefillin, meaning he looked like he needed to put on tefillin, but that's not what you'd think the guy would ask. So after they put on tefillin, he's vekus ilah, he's in atzilus for a few minutes, takes off his tefillin. So the Talmud says, okay, what's your story? What's going on? He said, my wife and I tried to have kids for many, many years, and nothing was working. And I had a friend also that told me, go to the Ohel and daven for it, just daven. And again, that same stubborn, cynical voice that says, come on, stop bothering with this garbage. And he brushed him off. And the guy kept on nudging us, listen, what could it hurt? You don't have kids. What could it hurt? So he agreed. And he explained to me how you have to write a pan, you have to write the whole note. And this Yid came and he wrote a whole note. And in the note, he writes to the Rebbe, I'm here because my friend convinced me to do this, but I don't believe in any of this. I'm just, for whatever the reason is, I'm letting you know. It's like the angry atheist, I'm just like letting you know that I don't believe in any of this. And then he writes this whole letter about how this is all shtuyot. Then he writes, P.S. If I do get a child after this, can you please not makasher it to this incident right now? Don't connect it to what just transpired over here, right? P.P.S. If it's twins, I'll mamish believe in God. So of course, you know, the story is that when he...
The triplets?
No. Triplets, I'll bring Mashiach, right? And then of course the story is that, 3 months later, when they went for a checkup because his wife wasn't feeling good, so the doctor said, "Oh my God, you're this is amazing. You're pregnant." And he's thinking to himself, "Oh no, if someone finds out about that, I wrote that P.S. in there, no one should find out." And then she looks again. She says, "Oh boy, mazel tov, you're expecting twins." And this guy also, joined the wagon. Now, we could go on. Everyone in here could quote like 500. You could quote 500,000 of these mavsim, of these miracles, of these stories. What's the pnimius of it? What's the haram ikach? In the parsha, I saw so many sichas of the Rebbe like stressing that these stories that are in chukas, because there's so many stories. Omnam, very short parsha, 87 psukim. What's that? Only someone that was at my bar mitzvah would know it's my bar mitzvah parsha. That's right. Yafeh. So 87 psukim over 39 years, and there's 39 years in the desert or in this parsha. Tons of stories, and the Rebbe keeps on stressing in every sicha that the stories are mamish hayras. The stories are literally Torahs. The stories are Torahs. So what's the Torah in these stories? We all know that there was never ever a Rebbe that thought about you and I, and that keeps on instilling within us this hiskashrus nishmasis, that the Rebbe is still thinking about each and every one of us. There was never such a thing like this before, ever. There never was, and there never will be. It's as simple as that. There was never such a thing that such a huge percentage of Klal Yisrael, if not everyone, knew and knows that the Rebbe was thinking about us. So that hiskashrus machshavtis, like to connect just by thinking. Now, of course, there's the three levushim of the neshama, which is not just machshava dibur ma'aseh. Of course, the more we learn, that strengthens the hiskashrus, and the more we actually act upon what we learn and what we're thinking about strengthens it even more. But just this evening tonight of Gimel Tammuz, what you were saying, Rav Shlomo, is like not just that we're thinking about the Rebbe, but it's even more deeper to say that I'm thinking about how the Rebbe is thinking of me, like that guy in the story, that I became part of the Rebbe's story. We're all part of the Rebbe's story, every one of us, every single one of us. This is one of the things I was talking with one of my daughters today when she was asking me, like, what is it, Abba? Like, what is this? What's the thing of Gimel? What is this? So I just need to refill this. If is there anything in here? Yeah. So
think of the Rebbe this way.
Now I'm thinking of all of Am Yisrael when I'm thinking about the Rebbe. We're thinking about all of us, Bifrat here in Eretz HaKodesh. I'm thinking about how the Rebbe is thought about and is thinking about every single chayal. It's mamish ala mishmar right now, and the chayalim are in a very, very, very sensitive situation right now. Very, mamash. And there may be like some just very wild and heavy things happening even tonight already. So just b'schus the fact that we have hiskashrus to someone that thought about every single yid, our connection to every single yid should grow. Our love, our sincere care, letting people know that we're thinking about them should be something that we take on even stronger this Gimel Tammuz. Be'ez Hashem, we should just hear good news. Be'ez Hashem. L'chaim, l'chaim. L'chaim.